Hey guys, you're listening to Catching Up with Annabella, and I'm your host, Annabella. Annabella. You guys got that for free. Yes, I am eating Cookie Crisp on the pod. Cookie Crisp, please sponsor me. They're the only cereal I will eat actually because I'm 7 years old. Today on the pod, this ain't even scripted. I got no organization. I got no notes. I am raw dogging this podcast. And today we are talking about Twilight. As if you could outrun me. Now, if you've been living under a fucking rock, then you would not know about Twilight. So I'm going to educate you about Twilight. While I eat my cereal. Future Annabella, you're going to have to edit me eating my cereal out. And that's really unfortunate for you. So, Twilight. Twilight was written by Stephanie Meyer. Now, Stephanie Meyer is a Mormon. This is pertinent because the Mormonism in this book does jump out. And you bet your ass I'm gonna ignore it. First off, Stephanie Meyer. Holy fuck, she's 51? Damn, not that that's old, but damn. Her mom's name is Candy. I think that's cute. I love when people have stripper names in real life. You know, like, what's a good stripper name? Like Destiny, Glitter, you know, stuff like that. Stephanie Meyer is an American novelist and film producer. Did she actually produce Twilight? We can tell. She's best known for her Twilight series, a 4-book vampire romance collection that has sold more than 160 million copies worldwide and been translated into 37 languages. Okay, Ms. Meyer, don't hurt him now. She also wrote another book series. I don't know why I paused like that. The Host. Now, I've never read The Host. My friend has, and she liked it. It's a science fiction romance novel. Who else isn't surprised? Came out in 2008. Twilight came out in 2000. Damn, she released The Host at the same year as Breaking Dawn. If I ever leave you, baby. Isn't that Breaking Dawn? Leave some morphine in my door. Bruno Mars is on the Twilight soundtrack. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm in a great mood because I cleaned. Is that New Moon? It sounds like more Moon. Yeah. No, it is Breaking Dawn. Guys! You bet your ass I'm right. Bet your ass I'm right. Okay, sorry. Anyway, but we're not talking about The Host. We're talking about Twilight. We're going to talk about the origin of Twilight. And if you guys don't know the 9/11 Twilight theory, then I got news for you guys. So, 50 Shades of Grey did start out as a self-insert fan fiction of Twilight. If you don't know what 50 Shades of Grey is, it's like a smut book that your mom's gonna read. I low-key want to read them because, like, I want to know why everybody's, like, pussies were getting wet. You know what I mean? I think Jensen Ackles was supposed to be... He was up for Christian Grey, wasn't he? Jensen Ackles plays Dean Winchester in Supernatural. If you're not educated. He's also Soldier Boy in The Boys. He's in The Tracker. He's in the new Amazon show Countdown. He's someone named Jason in Smallville. He's in Days of Our Lives. Fuck, if you don't know who he is, you're fucking stupid. Jensen Ackles revealed that he was approached to play Christian Grey in the 50 Shades of Grey movie and almost said yes, but ultimately declined due to scheduling conflicts with Supernatural. He hadn't read the books at the time, but his wife was encouraging him to consider the role. So 50 Shades of Grey is just like a smut book, okay? Okay. Anyway. So the self-insert fan fiction of Twilight. E.L. James, I think, is the author of 50 Shades. Oh my god, yeah, that's her. Sorry, I was not expecting to be right. Okay, she was so horny for Edward. I'm reading off of Reddit. r/GMFST. Go my favorite sports team. Oh, wait. Excuse me. That's a podcast with fucking Markiplier? It was a self-insert fanfic of her and Edward. Allegedly. These things are all alleged. Don't sue me. Honestly, real as fuck of her. So yeah, it's just a lot of kinky sex, like BDSM, stuff that'll, like BDSM isn't even the most kinkiest thing, but for like the middle-aged white woman suburban mom, that's like she's clutching her pearls. The fan fiction became so popular that they lightly edited it. I hate saying edited it to remove any overt Twilight references and release the story as 50 Shades of Grey. However, Stephenie Meyer wrote Twilight after she was inspired by her own crush on Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance. Gerard Way is the lead singer of My Chemical Romance, if you didn't know. Stephenie thought Gerard was a beautiful vampire man and wrote Twilight with him in mind as Edward and herself in mind as Bella, which you can totally tell that she's supposed to be Bella. Which I said in the last episode, I have no problem with author inserts as long as you make it good. But that is not the end of this ride. Gerard Way was just some dude living in New York City when 9/11 terrorist attacks occurred. To help himself process the trauma and grief of living through the event, he began writing songs and formed the band My Chemical Romance. I hope you're all taking notes, because if 9/11 didn't happen, I would not have Twilight. I was going to make a joke. I was going to say, was it worth it? Obviously not. So, we have, what's his name? Who did 9/11? Bush? Do we have Bush to thank for Twilight? Who did 9/11? Was it Bin Laden? No, who was it? Guys, I don't know anything. Ooh, I was right! Okay, Annabella, what's your terrorist knowledge? We gotta get out of this. I had to close that tab real quick. So, Osama Bin Laden is responsible for Twilight. That's not a sentence I think I'd ever say. So, Twilight. I had to tell you guys about that. Obviously, Stephenie Meyer is not going to say that she wrote reader self-insert fanfic of her and Gerard Way. If that was me, and like I wrote like self-insert fanfic and it blew up into this amazing franchise and I'm a millionaire, yeah, I'm going to be like, Gerard Way, here's your flowers. Okay. I'm done my cookie crisp. Let's get into it. So, Twilight came out in 2005. I was 4 years old. So, obviously I wasn't reading it. My aunt was really into Twilight. Like the movies, though. She never read the books. Which, honestly, fine, because the movies are like a cult classic. What the fuck does that even mean? I just be using words and not knowing what I'm saying. Cult classic. Something, typically a movie or a book, that is popular or fashionable among a particular group of section. Yeah, it is a cult classic. Okay, we're good. I probably could have used context clues to come to that definition by myself. And my aunt had a birthday party based off of Twilight, I remember. And I remember, like, you know, in school, everybody was like, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? And I had never seen the movies nor read the books. Because, when did the movie come out? I think it was 2007. 2008. Okay, I was close. I was 7. So, you know, I wasn't watching no vampire romance movies. But years later, I would be. But everybody would be like, you Team Edward or Team Jacob? And I said Team Jacob because I knew Taylor Lautner, because he was dating Taylor Swift. Right? Well, I know they dated, but I don't know what year. And they're both named Taylor, duh. And Taylor Lautner ended up marrying somebody named Taylor. And she's a Taylor Swift fan. It was in 2009. So, yeah. Okay. They did it in 2009. Anyway. So, yeah. So, I said Team Jacob because I knew Taylor Lautner. And, you know, based off of physical looks, a lot of people think that Jacob is more attractive than Edward. Which is not true. That's just not true. Like, I'm pulling a picture of Edward right now. Edward, okay, I will agree the first one, they were still trying to find, like, the groove. Like, I'm looking at this, he's wearing a gray v-neck and a gray button-up and skinny jeans. And we have to remember this is early 2000s. So, like, that skinny jeans, if they were not glued to your leg, you were not doing it right. But Edward in Breaking Dawn, and I could be a freak until the day. Like, oh, like, are you serious? They did his hair better. Oh, it's just so good. Jacob? Is his name Jacob Black? Look at me go. I know things. So, and early in the movies, before Jacob becomes a werewolf, well, he's always been, you know what I mean? Before he transforms, he has very long hair, because that's a very popular thing among Native Americans. And if you don't know, in the lore, the Native Americans in Forks are werewolves. Okay. It doesn't have to be boys. It can be girls, too. There's so much lore. Guys, I'm literally gonna have to like speed talk through all of this because this could be 2 episodes. Shit, I might make it 2 episodes. We'll see. And when Jacob becomes the wolf, when he transforms, he cuts his hair. And that happens in the books too, I believe. And if you guys have any recollection of what Jacob looked like in the Twilight movies, his shirt is always off, okay? And there's a reason for that. It's not just because, ooh, it's Taylor Lautner. Also, Taylor Lautner is not attractive to me at all. I'm so sorry. That doesn't mean anything. Like Taylor Lautner, like, he reminds me of someone I picked apples with in Papa's orchard. You guys know that meme? It's like, I feel no sexual, but it's not Timothy Chalamet, I think. It's like, I feel no sexual urges to you. Yeah, here. It's about Timothy Chalamet. And it says, Timothy Chalamet. It seems I've grown quite fond of you, though. There are no sexual urges or desires. You come to me as a long-lost friend whom I once picked apples with in Papa's orchard. That's me with Taylor Lautner. You come to me as a long-lost friend whom I once picked apples with in Papa's orchard. Anyway, his shirt is always off because werewolves run hot. And that comes into play in Twilight Eclipse when it's winter and Bella is like shivering and vampires are also known as the cold ones, right? Or the cold ones. Damn it! My stubby little fingers keep pressing the wrong key. Yeah. Okay. That's the part, yeah. So Bella can't warm up with Edward, so Jacob makes him a cuck and just holds Bella with his shirt off in this little tent. So the first one, Bella. Bella is the best character. I absolutely love Bella so much. First off, her name is Isabel. Isabella or Isabella? I think it's Isabella. Right? Yeah, Isabella. Oh my god, her middle name is Marie. She's just like me. So Bella is the main character. She's 17 in the first book. So basically, Bella is from Arizona. She lives with her mom, Renee, who we fucking hate, and I'll tell you why we hate Renee in a second. And Renee's boyfriend, what's her name? I mean, what's his name? Mark or something? Some fuck-ass name like that. If her name is Mark, I'm sorry. Phil. Wait. Pause. Is that Ty? Y'all can't see me. My hand is in my hands right now. Ty Olsson plays Phil. Ty Olsson is in Supernatural. Ty Olsson plays Benny in Supernatural, who is a vampire character. He also plays another vampire in season, I want to say 2. He was the bartender / I think his name was like Eli. Yes! Oh my gosh! So he must just love vampires, or it might be a huge coincidence. Okay. Ty also played in Dragon Tales. He was the big blue one. Dragon Tales, Dragon Tales. It's almost time for Dragon Tales. He played Ord. So Ty's been with me my whole life. Ty, you come to me as a friend who I once picked apples with in Papa's orchard. And the actor Ty, he also is married to DJ Qualls, who is in Supernatural, who plays a werewolf. So anyway, podcast with undiagnosed ADHD. So yeah. So Renee is Bella's mom, and she has a boyfriend named Phil, and Phil wants to go off and play baseball. I don't know, it's not Major League, right? Phil, baseball. He wants to go play baseball for a living. He's a minor league baseball player, and he travels away a lot for games. So that's why Bella moves to Forks to live with her dad, Charlie. So Renee and Phil can have time together. And Bella is basically the mom. Like, Renee is so... I'm getting a headache just thinking about this bitch. Renee is so childish, so immature, and not in like the fun way, like, you know, like you see in those movies where it's like, Mom or Dad, you're gonna be late, here's some orange juice, I'm going to school, love you, bye. It's like, I have to be emotionally available for my mother. my mother needs guidance. It's that, like, exhausting shit. And poor Bella has to basically put herself on the back burner. And the way Stephanie writes it, especially at Midnight Sun is the first one, but from Edward's point of view, you notice that, like, Bella, it's just like, it's like, Renee's like one of those moms who is like, oh, my daughter's my best friend. No, she's not. She's your daughter. You know what I mean? Like, if you say your daughter is your friend or your best friend, and not in the way where it's like you admire her, but in the way is like we go out and we, you know what I mean? Like in like the weird fuck ass way, then you know there's something wrong there. So she goes and she's, I'm gonna go live with Charlie in Forks, Washington, and so you guys can have time together. And Bella is super pale. That's kind of like her thing, but she's from Arizona. And there's like a line. It's like, aren't people from Arizona supposed to be tan or something? It's by that Jessica, who's played by Anna Kendrick. Jessica is one of Bella's alleged friends. I say alleged because she fucking talks about her back. But yeah, so Jessica goes, they're in gym, and Jessica goes, aren't people from Arizona supposed to be like really tan? And Bella's like, yeah, maybe that's why they kicked me out. And Bella is so funny, but like so awkward. Like, she's not like me, where I can never shut the fuck up and I always have a smart ass comment to make. She's like very like quiet, a little bit awkward with it, but she's so much funnier in the books than she is in the movies. Anyway, so she lives with her father Charlie, and Charlie is the chief of police, and everybody wants to fuck Charlie. Like, all the fans, everybody wants to fuck Charlie. I just can't. Poor Charlie. Charlie gets like the shittiest end of the stick in this whole fucking series more than anybody. Him and Bella aren't like exactly close because she lives with her mom. Duh. But she also kind of parents Charlie, but in that fun way that I was talking about. In the way where it's like, Dad, like, dinner's on the table, I'm going out, love you, bye. Like, they have that emotional, back and forth where it's like, I'm the dad, I'm here for you. There's no like, well, Dad, I'm here for you, know what I mean? And they're awkward because they haven't seen each other in a while, and he shows her to her room and everything's basically the same. I love Bella's room. Like, I want Bella's room. I want her bedspread, is really. And he's like, hope you like purple. She goes, purple's cool. Like, they're just so sweet. So Bella goes to school, and, you know, like I said, she befriends Jessica, Mike, who we all hate. We all hate Mike Newton. Everybody boo Mike Newton. Everybody boo Mike Newton. Fuck Mike Newton. Mike Newton is like, so obviously he's a boy named Mike Newton. And he just has a crush on Bella right away. And he just never shuts the fuck up. He's just so annoying. And Jessica has a crush on him, but he likes Bella. So their group is basically Bella, Jessica, Angela, Eric, and Mike. And they're all at lunch. And then the doors open. Annabella, I want you to cue like a sound effect or some music. I'm so sorry, Queen, but you're going to be the editor. And the Cullens walk in. The Cullens are, we have Carlisle, and you have Esme. I don't know why Esme's, I'm looking at a picture of the Cullens, and Esme is not on here. What the fuck? Okay. Esme and Carlisle play mom and dad, okay? Their children, these are not their real children because they are vampires, but the vampires who pose as their children, you have Edward, you have Alice, Jasper, Emmett, and you have Rose. Rosalie's her full name, but, you know, they call her Rose. Carlisle is supposed to be 23 when he was turned, I believe. Yeah, Carlisle was 23 when he was turned. He was born in 1640, and he was turned in 1663. That's 23. Esme was 26 when she was turned. So, the first vampire that Carlisle turned was Edward. And Edward was turned when he was 17. Edward, he was born in 1901, and he was turned in 1918 during the Spanish influenza epidemic. So he's chronically like over 100 years old, but he physically and mentally remains 17. I need you to remember that. He physically and mentally remains 17. Edward can pick up new skills and stuff, but mentally he is forever 17. There's no like Anne Rice, like with Claudia, like how Claudia was turned when she was a little girl, but as time progressed, her mind became older. So she was like, imagine being like 50 years old and you're stuck in the books. I think Claudia is like 5, but Edward is still 17. People always make the joke that Edward is this 100-something-year-old dude preying on a child. Edward is 17. That's why the whole point of that line where Bella goes,
"How long have you been 17?
And Edward goes,
A while.
So, duh. So, I think Esme was right after Edward in turning wise. Yeah, I was right. Esme. I think he actually fell in love with Esme. So, Carlisle and Esme first met, okay, when she was 16, okay, and he treated her broken leg after she fell out of a tree. While Carlisle was only in town briefly, Esme never forgot him, considering him her ideal of a man. Years later, Carlisle found Esme dying after a suicide attempt, and, recognizing her, transformed her into a vampire to save her life. They fell in love and eventually got married, and Esme kind of became like his mom. Esme loves Edward. Edward is her favorite. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, then after that, they turned Rose. Rosalie's story is probably the most fucked up. She was like this beautiful woman. I would love to know the year, if I could find. Okay. She was born in 1915 in New York into a rich family. She was known for being beautiful. Like, that was her thing. That's what brought her like attention. She became engaged to this guy named Royce. But their relationship was based more on his infatuation with her beauty than his actual feelings for her. They're supposed to get married. Rosalie wanted, like, to have a baby with him. She wanted a family, all that. You know, like the classic, like white picket fence life, okay? Royce and his friends were drunk, I believe. And I don't know if I can say what they did to her on the pod, but put 2 and 2 together, okay? They beat the fuck out of her as well. And she was dying. Like, that's how bad they fucked her up. Carlisle finds her and transforms her into a vampire. And it's very sad. Like, that's why I get serious, because that's why I love Rosalie. When you watch it, the first movie, or you read the first book, you don't like her because she's extremely mean to Bella. But you find out that Rosalie is looking at Bella as her. You know what I mean? Like, you're this beautiful young woman and you're here with us. Like, you want to be around us. Like, Rosalie fucking hates being a vampire. She doesn't like it. She wants to be human. She wants to grow old. She wants to die. She wants that. Like, she wants that. And vampires can't have babies. I love Rosalie. I have, like, chills. I get so passionate about her. So, okay, we're back to her story. They leave her to die. She murders them all in her wedding dress that she was supposed to wear on their wedding. She kills them all. She tortures Royce and doesn't drink his blood, which is honestly very hard because Rosalie was a newborn, and when vampires are originally turned in the Twilight lore, they are the most strongest vampires ever. They are so hungry, but she resisted, and I feel like Rosalie doesn't get enough props? Yeah, props for that. Then Carlisle turns Emmett. I love Emmett. Emmett is that classic, like, himbo, you know what I mean? Big, strong, but it's like a teddy bear. Emmett and Rosalie are together. But Carlisle actually thought that when he turned Rosalie, that Rosalie and Edward would be a thing. And I think that Rosalie kind of had feelings for Edward. No. It wasn't feelings, more as, like, she was offended that Edward, like, didn't want to be with her romantically, because in her human life, she was so used to, like, every man wanting to be with her. We meet Emmett. He was born in 1915. In 1935, he was hunting. He was attacked by a bear and severely injured. Rose found him. She carried his ass over 100 miles, okay, to Carlisle, and she was, like, begging him, like, you turned me into this, you owe me, like, come on. So, he transforms Emmett, and they fall in love, and they get married. And listen, Rosalie and Emmett are so fucking cute. They get married every so often, every few years, over and over again, because of how much Emmett knows and means to Rose. Emmett kind of becomes, like, Bella's big brother, if that makes sense. And also when they go hunting for animals, Emmett always kills a bear. or something along those lines to get his lick back. Because he was killed by a bear. Edward tells Bella that Emmett likes hunting bears. Yeah. So he basically, anytime he sees a bear, it's on site. And I respect him for that. Then Alice. So, Carlisle actually didn't turn Alice. Alice found them. We don't know who turned Alice, do we? We don't know. We still don't know. I want an Alice book. So, Alice was in a mental asylum where she was confined because she was having visions. Like, before she was even a vampire. We'll get into vampires magic in a second. My God, I've been talking for half an hour. I'm sorry, guys. It's gonna be like an hour and a half. And this was, again, early 1900s. So, back then, if you fucking tell people that, you're having visions, they're gonna go away. She was born in 1901 in Mississippi. She possessed the gift of foresight. She could see things before they occur. Okay, so here's the thing about, we're gonna break down Alice's power, because Alice can see things based on decisions. So, like if we're going somewhere and we turn right, Alice can see what's gonna happen if we turn right. But not if we turn left. Something like that. You know what I mean? She was labeled a witch, duh, and changeling by her community when her predictions, because she predicted her mom's death, and nobody wanted to listen to her. I'm sorry, like, I mean, maybe because, you know, it's 2025. If I hear somebody predicting my death, you bet your ass I'm gonna fucking listen. Her father had her institutionalized, and a vampire transformed her to protect her from a tracker named James, who we're going to talk about in a minute. I think we're just going to cover the first one. You know what? I've decided, spur of the moment, we're going to do an episode per book, per movie. Okay. So this is the first one. You have to meet all of them so you can understand this. But also cause her delusional memories. Okay. She had a vision of Jasper, who we'll get into, in the Cullens. So she went to them. And she basically was like, I have visions. You guys are my family. And they were just like, cool. Like, I love it. There's no like, you have to prove yourself. Answer me. These are riddles 3. You know, like, they just believed her. Jasper. Jasper is Alice's boo thing. All I can remember about Jasper at the top of my head is he was a fucking Confederate soldier. I don't know why Stephanie Meyer would write that about him. He was born in 1844. He joined the Confederate Army before his 17th birthday and quickly rose to the rank of major. In 1863, he was turned into a vampire by Maria, who we will learn about, okay? You're going to learn about everybody, I promise, who sought to use his military experience to build a newborn army, okay? Jasper later grew weary of the brutal lifestyle and left Maria, eventually finding his way to the Cullens with Alice, where he became a vegetarian vampire. The Cullens don't eat people. You kind of could have guessed that when I told you that Emmett likes to eat bears. That's their thing. That's not really normal among vampires. They meet 3 vampires in this movie who eat people, and they're eating the people in forks. Your eye color changes, I believe, on what you eat, right? So if you eat people as a vampire, your eyes are red. Red eyes signify a vampire who drinks human blood, while golden eyes indicate a vampire who primarily consumes animal blood. Black eyes denote a vampire who is extremely thirsty and hasn't fed in a while, because you see that in the first one with Edward. Now you're all caught up on the Cullens. Now we're going to talk about their powers. Okay. Not every vampire gets a power. Rosalie doesn't have a special power beyond vampire. You know what I mean? Beyond, like, super speed, super strength. Emmett doesn't. Esme doesn't. And Carlisle doesn't. Jasper has one. Edward. And Alice of the Cullens. We'll get into the vampire government later. And their powers. Because their powers are crazy. Edward has telepathy. Alice, we already know that. And Jasper can manipulate emotions through pathokinesis. Edward can read everybody's minds. And we learn more in depth about it in the books. Because there was no way, like, when Edward first discovered he could do this, he could hear everybody all the time. Imagine that. That's like, I feel like that's a form of torture. Also, he can also do it on vampires, too. And there's a way for him and Alice to talk Like, Alice can read people's minds. How to get, but she can't, you know, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay, no, it's the other way around. I lied to you. Alice, okay. Edward can see the future if he reads Alice's mind. That's what I meant to say. I'm sorry, I got it flip-flopped. So, that makes sense. So, Edward kind of gets a bonus one in that. Oh, I can only remember, I should say. The only emotion that I can remember Jasper making people feel is, like, calm. He uses it on Bella. And, other people that I cannot remember. Okay. This is the Cullens. We're all caught up on the Cullen family tree. Okay. They walk in. And, you know, they don't look like 17 at all. Because they're vampires. They're all white. Wearing all white. I don't know why that... I guess that was supposed to be like a fun, quirky thing, but it just looks like shit. So, Bella immediately is drawn to Edward. And Edward is drawn to her. And he's fucking staring her down in this cafeteria. And at first, it's so funny. Because when you read Midnight Sun, from Edward's point of view, Edward is like, what's so different about this girl? Like, he was just like, nah, she ain't for me, cause... Like, he was reading, I think, Mike's thoughts or something. Like, he was reading everybody's thoughts, and he's like, everybody's talking about Bella, Bella, Bella. We are going to go to the biology scene. Edward is in biology class. Also, if I'm a fucking vampire, I ain't going to high school over and over and over and over again. What else do you have to teach me? You know what I mean? But they do it to blend in, I guess. It's stupid. And they moved to Forks, by the way, because the sun rarely comes out in Forks, and it's, like, cloudy and rainy. And when it does get sunny, they go into the woods to hunt, I think, and get away. So, they're in biology class, and Bella looks like she's wearing pajamas. It's, like, a green bowler shirt with a gray long sleeve underneath. Little chunky bracelet on her wrist. I don't know. Early 2000s. We didn't know what we were doing then. Bella walks in. I'm going to reference the movie because that's what I feel like more people connect with. And you see a fan blow, and it basically just blows Bella's scent to Edward. And when I tell you that when I read this scene in Midnight Sun, I was gagged. Edward, so like it's really funny because he's like, he looks like she caught the ugly in SpongeBob. He's like, ugh! Like, oh, she stinks. What's that smelly smell? But actually, he's smelling her blood. And her blood is just so appealing to him that if you read the book, Edward is making a plan on how to murder everybody in that room and then murder Bella. And he's like, Carla would understand. He'd give me a second chance. We could all move away. It would be worth it. He's like going insane. And Bella, and then like this all going in Edward's head. And Bella's like sitting there and she smells herself like, do I reek or something? And Edward leaves class. Okay. So Edward doesn't show up for days. And in Midnight Sun, you find out that he goes to Alaska to see another coven. I think he buries himself. Yeah, he just buries himself in the snow to control his lust. Because Edward used to murder criminals. Like feed from people. He would read their minds, and if somebody was gonna go murder someone or hurt like a kid, he would just kill them. Because I think it made him feel like, well, if I'm cursed with this, I might as well do something good with it. And the reason earlier, see, we're coming full circle, why I bring up Stephanie Meyer being Mormon is because Edward is religious to me, at least. I don't know if people agree with me, but in the book, Edward talks about his soul a lot, Bella's soul, stuff like that. Like, where am I going to go when I die? Because I'm not human anymore. So, that's where he goes. Bella is in Forks, and Edward is in the snow in Alaska having his little angsty teen moment. Okay. He comes back, and he's like golden-eyed, fine. He's like,
I was out of town for a couple of days. Personal reasons.
And it's very awkward. I think it's supposed to be awkward. And, you know, Edward is, you're trying to use his powers on Bella, and you find out that he can't. He cannot read Bella's mind. He is like, what the? He's been able to read everybody's mind his entire life, but he can't read Bella's. And he's like, I think that's what brings him into Bella. Because I said earlier he didn't fuck with her. But the smell of her egg and her being like shielded from his powers makes her interesting. Him and Bella have a little back and forth, okay? Prophase, anaphase, because they're in biology. You know, fun. And if you win this activity, you get a golden onion, which is like the trophy. It cuts and they're walking in the hallway together and Bella's holding the golden onion. Because, yeah, they fucking won. Because A, Bella's really smart, and B, Edward's probably done this a million fucking times. So, they're walking and Bella's not stupid. And she's like,
Hey, did you get contacts? Your eyes were black the last time I saw you, and they're like golden brown.
He's like, oh, fluorescent lighting. This whole book is just everybody gaslighting Bella. Bella likes Edward, obviously. The Collins don't. At least Rose doesn't. Alice loves Bella. You find out that Alice has a vision that her and Bella are going to become best friends. And she's like, so excited. She wants to meet Bella right away. And Edward's like, please, let me make my move. The thing with the vampire government is they have rules, okay? They're called the Volturi. They're set in Rome. Carlisle knows them because Carlisle's old as fuck. So some of their key rules are you have to hunt inconspicuously. You can't do what we see James and everybody do, which is just kill people and like just dump their bodies, okay? You can't draw attention to yourself in the sunlight because everybody knows this, but in this vampire lore, when vampires step into sunlight, they don't explode right away, they sparkle. Okay? And you cannot create immortal children, which means you can't turn a child. Okay. There's also like laws with werewolves and stuff like that, and like you're responsible for your newborn's actions. But yeah. And also the big one is like, don't let people know we exist. That's like the biggest thing. Alright guys, who else isn't surprised that Edward breaks these rules with Bella? Raise your hand. You. Okay. Stay after class, we're gonna talk. I'm assuming it's winter at this time in the book because there's ice on the ground. This is pertinent. Bella is in the parking lot with her beaten up old red truck that her dad gave to her when she first moved because Charlie's a sweet man. And Tyler, who was a guy she goes to school with, slides on the ice in his van and basically almost murders Bella. But Edward jumps in front of her in the van, grabs her, and puts his hand out and stops it because, you know, he's incredibly strong. Bella's like, what the, huh? Duh? Cue Tim Allen noise. And he just yeets. He just darts away. And the Cullens see this, and they're like, fuck. Bella's not stupid. She's gonna figure it out. They go to the hospital, and it's so funny because they just gaslight the fuck out of my girl. They're like, oh, you're traumatized. Your memory's not right. So fucked. Carlisle is also the doctor in Forks, like, of the hospital. He is the doctor. He's, like, the best known one. Later on, they go to La Push. La Push, baby. La Push. La Push is a beach, essentially. And this is, we find out, is, like, the werewolf land. I don't want to say land. It's the reserve, I think is what it's called. Yeah. Okay. She invites Edward, and Edward's like, no. I can't go. And you find out that there's a treaty between the werewolves and the vampires, and there's like a certain line each other can't cross, and that's the line. So, Jacob is 16 in the first book, or 15, something like that. And they're walking and talking on La Push. And Jacob is so, like, unaware of vampires, unaware of werewolves. Like, he doesn't know he's gonna be a werewolf at all. So they're talking, and he's just like, there's this stupid tale that, like, my dad was saying about, like, the cold ones and da-da-da-da. basically dispels it out that the Cullens are vampires. But he's like, yeah, it's so stupid. So Bella puts 2 and 2 together. She figures out that the Cullens are vampires. I'm not going to go into deep detail because I want you guys to read the books and watch the movies. But she finds out that Edward is a vampire. They have their thing, the fucking hold on tight spider monkey thing, which is not something Edward says in the fucking books. Edward puts her on his back and, like, he runs through the forest. And he's basically saying, like, I'm a killer. Like, I could kill you if I wanted to. Da-da-da-da-da. And then he steps into the sunlight and shows her how he sparkles. And he goes, this is the skin of a killer, Bella. Which is one of the most famous quotes. She goes, you're so beautiful. And he goes, I've killed people. She goes, I don't care. And then later in the movies, she's like to Jacob, you killed people, Jake. But you're fine when Edward does it. Okay. Bella becomes friends with the Cullens. It's kind of fucked up. Edward brings her home to meet his family, and they're cooking Italian food because her name's Bella. She must like it. And they don't eat human food. Like, you know what I mean? So they go over there, and they're making food, and Esme's like, it's Italiano, I hope you like it. And Edward's like, we ate already. And Rosalie, rightfully so, shatters a bowl. And is just pissed. Because, like, why the fuck would you do that? In the movie, the actress who plays Rosalie, who I can't remember her name, she's wearing some fucking zebra print gloves. I looked up why that is. It's apparently because she, like, hurt her hands doing that. Then we get the amazing baseball scene in Twilight. Oh, baby, oh, baby, won't you let me know? With Muse. You said my song. I'm gonna get copyright for how good that was. Okay. And you're like, why do they play baseball? Because vampires want to have fun too. Fuck. They basically say it's like their favorite American pastime. Okay? But they have to play when it's storming because they are so strong. When that bat hits that ball, it sounds like thunder. Okay. Also, fun fact, because their skin is like porcelain and they glitter in the sun, when vampires have sex, it sounds like dishes clacking against each other. And there's a part in one of the books where Edward talks about how, like, Rose and Emmett keep him up at night, and it's because, like, all you hear is, like, I'm gonna try not to do it, not to hurt the mic, but you hear, like that. Like, that's how they fuck. They're playing baseball. Bella's there for fun. They make her the umpire because she really can't do anything else. And Alice gets a vision, and she's like, they're coming! All right. We're going to tell you who James is, and Laurent, and Victoria. There are 3 vampires. This is James' coven. They basically just kill whoever the fuck they want. Victoria's beautiful, so she can do it. The actress who plays her, I forget her name, but she gets recasted with Bryce Dallas Howard, and it's just so sad. James is a psychopath. He loves to hunt people for fun. Not in the way that, like, I needed to eat. He likes the game. He likes to torture people. Ba-da-da-da-da. They run into the Cullens playing baseball. Bella's human. And her scent is, like, crazy. Like, Alice is, like, she meets Bella for the first time. She's like, ooh, you do smell good. So, Victoria is, like, James's girlfriend. And Laurent was just Mr. Terrific in the new Superman movie, which I highly recommend you go see. And Laurent is, like, the way they pose, Laurent's in the middle, so you'd think Laurent would be, like, the leader. But I think it's low-key James. He's like, you guys want to play around? Like, they're basically, you want to play baseball? And they're like, oh, we were just leaving. Anyway, we gotta go back. Though, something happens, and the wind blows, and, like, they smell Bella, and then they all, like, hiss at each other. I'm not even lying. It's like a, it's with the, yeah. So they're like, oh, I see you brought a snack. And they're like, she's with us. Da-da-da-da. Hey, this is editing, Annabella. I forgot to say that when they meet with James, Laurent, and Victoria, Bella is behind Edward, and Edward is tapping his foot on the ground and beat with Bella's heartbeat to cover up the fact that she's human. And that's just a really fun fact. Anyway, back on with the show. And remember, Edward has telepathy, so Edward is reading James's mind. And the whole time they're, like, standing there, like, bullshitting their way getting out of this. James is like, I'm going to kill Bella. I'm going to track Bella, and I'm going to kill her and make you watch. And it's going to be so much fun. They ended up leaving. And remember, Bella's like, okay, whatever. They all get in the fucking Jeep. In the book, it's Alice and Edward, Bella, I think. That's it. And Edward's like freaking the fuck out. He's like, you have to leave Forks. You have to get the fuck out of here. James is coming for you. And she's like, what? It was like 3, 2, 1. Bella's life is upside down. Okay. So basically they all make this plan together to get Bella out of this. Bella has to leave Forks. And to avoid James from killing Charlie, Bella's dad, Bella has to make it seem, because James is watching them, that she's running away. Like, she broke up with Edward, her heart is broken, she wants to go home to her mom. So they do that. It's very sad. She hurts her dad's feelings. She goes to Bella, I was just getting you back. And she uses what her mom said when her mom left her dad against him. They leave. Bella goes with Alice and Jasper to fucking Arizona or something, or Florida or something like that. And everybody else is trying to throw James off. James isn't stupid. He figures it out. Bella gets a phone call, and it's her mom. And her mom was like, Bella, where are you? Bella, please. And James is like, yeah, if you want to see your mom again, you're gonna come here alone. And Alice is having visions of a room of mirrors, and James there. And I think Bella getting hurt. Like I said, like, Alice can't fucking, like, you know what I mean? She can't get specifics a lot, but she can get, like, big chunks. The ability to see the future, specifically the outcomes of decisions made by people she knows. Her power is not obsolete. The future is not set in stone. And her visions can change as people make different choices. See? Okay. I kind of butchered what I said earlier with the left or right metaphor, but you get what I mean. So what do you think Bella does? She sneaks out. In the book, she sneaks out through an airport. I think in the movie, just out of the hotel. Bella realizes that place with mirrors is the ballet studio she used to go to when she was little. She goes there alone. Bella is so brave for doing this. Bella is a 17-year-old girl. She's not a vampire. She's not a werewolf. She doesn't have any powers. She's going to save her mom. She goes and she hears her mama's voice, and she opens the door, and it's not her mom. It's a videotape of her mom. Bella realizes that she's been set up, and she just walked to die, not to save anybody. It's really, really sad. I feel for her so much. James has the camcorder, because remember, early 2000s, the camcorder the video is on, because you take the wire from the camcorder and then plug it into your TV, and that's how you'd watch the videos with the tapes in it. And he's a sick fuck, and he's filming Bella, begging her to cry out for Edward, because for some reason he's got beef with Edward. Like, he's doing all of this to spite Edward, and also Bella smells good, but like, to spite Edward is like one of the bigger points, and she refuses to. I love it. She is like saying, like, Edward, do not kill him, do not go after him. And he fucks Bella up. He breaks her leg, I think. Throws her against the wall, made of glass. Bella gets fucked up. He bites her. And the venom sets in, the poison. Okay, Edward gets there. You find out at Midnight Sun, they gotta, steal a car, speed, go. It's fucking crazy. That book is so good. I gotta reread that really, really soon. It's huge because Edward doesn't sleep. So my boy's always thinking. But he's not there in time because Bella still gets fucked up. And, everybody else is behind Edward. The rest of the Cullens get there eventually. Carlisle tends to Bella, and Edward does too. And they leave Jasper and Emmett to rip James apart and set him on fire. They tear up the floorboards of the ballet studio and set him on fire. Bella is being turned into a vampire. She's screaming out in pain. The way that Stephanie Meyer describes it as, when the venom of the vampire goes into your blood, it feels like your body is on fire. The only way to save her is to A, let her turn. And Edward refuses. Edward hates the idea of her being a vampire. He sees it as like she's throwing herself away. He wants her to live a life. He wants her to go to college. He wants her to do all these amazing things. He wants her to have children, grow old. And Bella's just obsessed with being a vampire, and she's so real for that. Carlisle's like, or you could show really, really great self-restraint and just suck the venom out of her, but don't kill her while you're doing it. And Edward's like, I don't know. But Edward is Carlisle and Esme's golden boy, and they love him so much. Like, Edward's their depressed little teenager. They just want him to be so happy. But Carlisle's like, you can do it. They do it. And there's that scene where it's like, what's that fuck ass, like, that fuck ass song that plays? It's like, like some fuck ass, like, oh no, I gotta listen to it. That's all I remember. It's like, wait, is it Robert Pattinson's song? Holy fuck, I forgot about that. It's like in Dirty Dancing when that Patrick Swayze song made it in. Now my life I see. That's literally how he sounds. But he's British. Okay, that. And they're like, Edward, stop, you're killing her. Edward, stop. And Bella's eyes are crossed and she's like jerking on the ground because she's, dying. But it works. Bella wakes up in a hospital. They come up with this big elaborate scheme that makes it seem like Bella made up with Edward. Like, Edward and Carlisle went to go find Bella because, in Charlie's eyes, they broke up. So Edward went to, like, make it right. Bella went, they're at the hotel. Like, this is a fake story, okay? This is not really what happened. I told you just what happened. They're at a hotel. Bella falls down the stairs and goes through a fucking window. That's why she's hurt, guys. Thank God Carlisle was there. He's a doctor. She wakes up and Renee's there. She's like, oh my God, Bella, baby. Your dad's downstairs. Edward hasn't left her side. Edward is pretending to sleep in this chair. He's wide awake and Bella knows it. And she's like, oh, Bella, you can't wait till you see your room. It's going to be so great. And she's like, Mom, I'm not leaving Forks. Because she basically has Stockholm Syndrome to Edward. Not that he's her captor, but in the way that, like, she's so obsessed with him that she refuses to leave him, which is real. Again, Renee leaves the room. Everybody's names have E and N's in them. Edward he hates himself for what happened. He blames himself, and he's basically saying, like, we can't be together, or I'm gonna leave, or something among those lines. And Bella tweaks. She's like, no, I'm not, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, oh my God, calm the fuck down. She's like, no, I'm not leaving you. Just don't ever say that. Then it ends, and they're back in Forks, and Bella has a big-ass cast on her leg, and it's prom. Because Edward wants her to go to prom, and Bella's like, I'm not going to prom. But Edward makes her go. And she has this beautiful blue dress on, and the movie is ugly as fuck. Alice is, like, obsessed with fashion. So anytime there's an event or something, Alice just, like, gets her the most beautiful stuff. Ends with them going to prom. Jacob shows up. Jacob goes to school on the reserve. He doesn't go to this high school that Bella and Edward go to. He's like, my dad paid me to come talk to you. And she's like, okay. And he's like, he has a message for you. And he's like, we're watching you. And he's like, I know, isn't that so weird? And basically, Jacob's dad and, all the old-headed werewolves are like, we're watching you, Bella, and we know that, you're getting piped by a vampire. She doesn't get piped till Breaking Dawn, but you know what I mean. Camera pans up into the building where Edward and Bella are dancing, and you see Victoria, who is James's boo thing, is watching, and she wants her leg back. That's how it ends. I wasn't planning on talking about the whole first one or the whole first movie, but I guess I'm just gonna take down each one. In case you guys wanted to hear me butcher every single movie or book. Oh, and then Edward writes that song for Bella, the Bella's Lullaby, the Bella's Lullaby if it was pitch perfect. Whip it! Don't wanna see you whipping so I can treat you right. Give me just a minute of your time tonight. We both are here to have fun, so let it whip. That's the first Twilight. If I do episodes based on, every single one, it won't be, like, consistently. I'll probably put, like, a little sandwich or filler episode in between, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll sandwich it with a filler episode in between. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, it's great. I didn't talk about everything because I want you to experience it for yourself. And yeah, thank you guys for sitting with me during my little Twilight rant. I love you, and have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, and whatever it is for you. And I will see you next time.